Right now, there's a massive high-stakes standoff happening between India and France, and it's threatening to completely derail one of the biggest military deals in recent memory. At the heart of it all is one single critical demand that could literally redefine India's air power for the next 50 years. So let's break down what's really going on here. Yeah, acquiring jets without a brain, that's a pretty intense way to put it, right? But that's how some in the Indian media have described the situation, and it gets right to the core of this huge strategic fight. See, it's not about whether the jet is good. It's about who holds the keys to its mind. And the deal on the table is absolutely massive. We're talking 36 billion US dollars for 114 brand new Rafale jets for the Indian Air Force. I mean, a contract of this size doesn't just buy you airplanes. It can shape your geopolitical alliances for decades to come. And it all comes down to this one thing, the single sticking point that's put this entire deal in jeopardy. France is flatly refusing to hand over the core source codes for the Rafale. Now, for India, you gotta understand, this isn't just some technical fine print. It's a complete deal breaker. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what in the world are these source codes anyway? And why are they important enough to potentially scuttle a multi-billion-dollar deal? Well, let's get into the technical heart of this conflict. The easiest way to think about it is this. The source code is the aircraft's brain. It's the complex software that controls basically everything, from the radar to the weapons systems. It's the digital DNA that dictates how the jet sees, how it thinks, and ultimately how it fights. So without these codes, India is essentially locked out from modifying three incredibly critical systems. We're talking about the advanced ASA radar. That's the jet's eyes. The mission computer, which is what fuses all the data together, and the Spectra suite, which is basically the jet's electronic shield. In short, France would keep control over the very core of the fighter's combat power. And this is where it really gets interesting, because you can see the real-world consequences. With source code access, India could, say, integrate its own homemade Astra missile whenever it wants. It could rapidly update the jet's software to counter a new threat that pops up tomorrow. But without it, every single little change requires French approval. That creates a total vendor lock-in. It slows down reaction times, and it means India isn't truly operationally independent. So you see, this is so much more than just a technical argument. What we're really watching is a fundamental clash between two national strategies. It's France's need to control its technology versus India's deep desire for total autonomy. Now, from the French perspective, this is all pretty standard. I mean, the Rafale's software is the crown jewel. It's the result of decades of research and billions of euros. Handing over the source code would be like giving away the secret formula. Of course they're going to protect it. But for India, this runs directly against their national policy of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which translates to self-reliant India. The whole point is to build up their own defense industry so they don't have to depend on foreign countries, especially in a crisis. For them, having total control or sovereignty is everything. And this chart really shows you the urgency here. The Indian Air Force is supposed to have 42 fighter squadrons, but right now they only have 31. That is a critical gap in their defenses. So there's immense pressure on them to make a decision and to make it fast. They need more jets, but the terms have to be exactly right. So, just as talks with France seem to be hitting a brick wall over the source code issue, another world power steps into the ring. And they have a radically different offer that could change the whole game. That's right, Russia has put its fifth-generation Su-57E stealth fighter on the table. And they made a promise that directly attacks France's biggest weakness in this negotiation. They're offering full and complete access to all the source codes. This isn't just another option, it's a direct challenge. And this isn't just some vague promise. The CEO of Russia's United Aircraft Corporation said it plain as day. With these codes, Indian engineers will have the power to customize and modernize the jet all by themselves. You can imagine, that's exactly what India wants to hear. This table really lays out the dilemma perfectly. On one side, you've got the French offer, a fantastic, battle-proven jet, but with limited tech transfer and, crucially, no keys to the software. On the other side, the Russian offer gives India exactly what it's asking for, full access, joint production. And they even have a history of doing this successfully with the Su-30 MKI jet. The choice couldn't be more stark. So as you can see, this decision is about way more than just buying a new fighter. India is truly at a strategic crossroads, and the path it takes now is going to define its air power and its position in the world for the next 40 years. And let's just look at the timeline to really understand the pressure.
You have the immediate crisis, the low squadron strength right now. Then you look to the future, and India's own stealth fighter probably won't be ready until 2035 at the absolute earliest. So whatever jet they buy now has to keep flying well into the 2060s. This is a decision with incredibly long-term consequences.
So when you boil it all down, this isn't just about buying military hardware. It's a defining moment. The choice between a trusted European partner and a long-standing defense supplier from Russia, it's going to shape India's operational freedom, its foreign policy, and the entire future of its own defense industry.
And so it all comes down to this single, powerful question. What is the true price of military independence? Is it worth giving up some control to get a top-tier, state-of-the-art platform? Or is it better to hold out for a deal that gives you total technological freedom? That is the multi-billion-dollar question that India has to answer.